Hey, welcome back to the channel. And it's a new year. Happy 2025. And with a new year, that only means one thing: new car parts. And in today's video, we're gonna go over the suckiest mod of all, if not of all time. That's right, intakes. And like I said, it's 2025 and the Kona N is now 4 years old. It came out in 2021, so it's been a while. It's also discontinued. RIP. You know, the last model year was in 2023, but if you're planning to pick one up used, you're in luck. A lot of manufacturers, I don't want to say a lot, but a few manufacturers ended up creating and making intake products for the Kona N. So in today's video, I'm going to go over a list of some of those intakes, if not all of them. Clean my lens here. Now these intakes aren't ranked in any particular order, but the first one I'm going to start with is a classic, and I'm talking about the K&N intake. So let's get into it. So K&N is probably one of the most recognizable filter brands in the world, and I feel like they make an intake system for almost any car, as well as filters ranging from cabin filters to oil filters. I've run this intake for about 3 years on and off on my Kona N, and I haven't had any major problems. It definitely provides all the right noises. The only issue I've had was on the plastic hose connector valves breaking, and that was more on my part, taking them on and off and not being careful. Since then, I've swapped them out for some aluminum ones, and they've held up great. Now, I was fortunate enough to be an R&D car for the K&N intake for the Kona N. Lucky that K&N is headquartered in California, where I'm from. K&N, KN, it just made sense. The R&D experience was awesome, and you can check out the vlog on the channel. I'll drop a link in the description below. They also dynoed my car on their in-house dyno system. And the K&N intake boasts a 10 horsepower gain as well as a 20 foot-pounds of torque increase with no tuning required. These are currently listed on the K&N website for $399.99. I've seen it lower on the site before, so you might want to wait and shop around, but it definitely is one of the more budget-friendlier intakes on the list. Another budget-friendlier option is to run the K&N replacement filter that fits the OEM intake airbox and remove the lid. I ran this option before they came out with their full intake system, and these are listed on the K&N website for $79.99. Next on the list is another company that I'm pretty familiar with, and that's AFE's Takeda Cold Air Intake for the Kona N. It's only fitting they're second on the list, as they were founded by former K&N employees in 1999, and they've been in business for the last 25 years. Not only do they produce intake systems, they also create full performance engine parts and suspension products for street, race, and off-road platforms, with a lot of it produced in-house. Now, AFE is also located in California, but I was not the one to R&D the car. That belongs to Snoozin. He was the one that brought his Kona N in for R&D, which then developed the Takeda intake. The Takeda Cold Air Intake system boasts a 14 plus horsepower gain with a plus 21 foot-pound increase in torque. What I like about their system is that it's probably a more true cold air system with a closed box, and definitely looks more OEM plus. I've run this intake for a little bit over a year and even tracked it at one of their events without any issues, and I definitely saw a decrease in temps at the track for sure. Fit and finish is top notch, but if there's one criticism about the intake, it's probably the quietest intake on the list, but that might be a plus for some people, as the decreased engine temps and increase in horsepower and torque will be enough for a lot of enthusiasts. The cost for the intake is listed on the AFE website for $428.40. Alright, now next on the list is probably the loudest, if not the loudest intake for the Kona N, and I'm talking about Forge Motorsports. To me, their designs are definitely unique, and Forge is definitely high quality. I was lucky enough to be a sponsor-e. They were a sponsor of the build last year, or a couple of years ago now, for my oil cooler, and I have that and run that on the Kona N, and that is amazing. Just based off the product quality of the oil cooler, I would assume and I would guess that the intake is just as great quality.
And I would say the Forge intake is the most recognizable amongst the enthusiast crowd with their signature large foam filters from Pipercross and colored silicone hoses. Their dyno run is listed at 296 brake horsepower for a 21 brake horsepower gain and 310 foot-pound torque increase for a 32 foot-pound gain. But that does include their catback system, so I'm not sure what the intake only gains would be, but I would assume it's in line with the other intakes on this list. These are listed on the Forge Motorsport US website for $529, which makes it one of the more pricier options for the Kona N.
There's a car passing by. Speaking of Pipercross, they have also developed their own intake for the Kona N, and they are also based out of the UK. What a coincidence.
Now, I did not see any dyno numbers on their website, but the system looks to be similar to the K&N system in terms of design with a heat shield guard, but with a different and smaller air filter than the Forge system, which has no heat shield. These intakes come in at €363, which Google tells me comes out to $375.36 USD. But shipping and possible VAT or taxes for importing will probably affect the final price if you're looking to buy one here in the States.
So staying in the UK, the next one on the list is RPM Performance. This one's unique in the sense that this is one system, I believe it's an inlet to intake. Didn't finish writing the script.
As I was trying to explain before, their intake has a CNC machined enlarged turbo inlet adapter connected to their silicone hose intake with aluminum connectors and is made to work with the standard airbox system. Say that 5 times fast. But I've seen these intakes hook up to a variety of different air filter setups, including this setup from the homie Lone Wolf Detailing. Definitely check out the rest of his install video if you're looking to run one of these in your Kona N. They don't have any dyno numbers on their website, but these are listed for €199, which comes out to $208.26 in USD.
So next on the list is, shockingly enough, the first brand out of South Korea, and that's Torcon's Cold Air Intake. I learned about Torcon from Andy Mock over at Mock Racing. I have the Torcon valve spring. I know it's weird to go from an exhaust valve spring to an intake. Don't take my word for it. Listen to the sound clip here.
The dyno numbers that were run on the Veloster N claim a 13.8 horsepower gain. As far as torque gains go, I'm not smart enough to convert to foot-pound, but let me know what the conversion is in the comments below. If you're in the United States, you can get these off Mock Racing with an inlet option starting at $664.99. And if you go non-inlet option, it runs for $499.99.
Moving on the list. Next on the list is the Sixth Element intake. Now, Sixth Element, definitely one of the OGs for the Kona N. Might be one of the first intake products for the platform itself. They developed a sort of standard system as well as a carbon fiber. So there was a bunch of variations, and unfortunately they no longer, I don't say no longer support, but they no longer produce and create the intakes for the Kona N. So you might have to pick one up used on the Facebook Marketplace. Sad to hear, but makes sense with a discontinued platform that there's no more Kona N. So Go figure.
Up next, we have the intake from HPS. I know HPS for their silicone hoses and couplers, and I actually use one of their silicone caps to plug the recirculation hole for the bypass valve on my intake, as well as using a few of their couplers when I was installing the 6th element intercooler to the AFE charge pipes. You can get these in their signature black, blue, or red colors, as well as a polished finish. These boast a 9.3 horsepower gain, as well as a 10.5 foot-pound torque gain. You can get these on the HPS website, and they run for $368.
Next on the list is the Hyundai N Performance. This is more of a OEM plus, and I don't know if there's any gains per se, but it does look cool in the engine bay. Bars. This is Hyundai's N Performance intake box that has a little clear acrylic piece that you can kind of see the filter, and I believe the filter is also upgraded. It's kind of more of a red, like K&N style filter versus the paper one. And like I said, these are factory, so the fit and finish, perfect for the Kona N.
I've seen these for sale on various sites that I haven't ordered from, but they are listed on Shark Racing, based out in Korea, which I have ordered from. The intake is listed at $499.
Finally on the list is getting a custom intake made. If you're a fabricator, or I've seen people modifying things like the AEM intake that was made for the Veloster N. So it is possible to retrofit, if not make your own intake, and probably more satisfying. So I hope you like that video. This might be outdated by the time it comes out. Hopefully more products come out, but again, these aren't ranked by quality. Any option that you go with, I'm sure, will be a great option for your Kona N. But let me know, what is your favorite intake for the Kona N? Did you go custom? Did you get one that's not on the list? Also, if you like this type of video, let me know what type of compilation or list video do you want to see next for the Kona N. I'm thinking, there's tunes, there's lowering springs, there's exterior mods like lip kits. You want to see a list of that? Also, let me know in the comments below. So with that said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.